Hola and welcome to my original YouTube channel since 2020, Benidorm and beyond. I'm an English woman who's lived right here in this fabulous city and resort for over 25 years now, and my aim is to give you a fresh and different take on all there is to see, do and enjoy in Benidorm, so here we go. Today's video brings you an up-to-date look at some of the building and renovation works that are going on in Benidorm at the moment, which follows my recent videos over the last few months covering the same theme, which each time show you a whole ton of construction works and upgrades that you may not have seen since you last visited the resort. And please note that some of my more regular viewers may possibly recognise some of the premises as we go along from one of my regular New Bars and Businesses vlogs. With the November fiestas now a distant memory and a slightly quieter period ahead of us before the festivities of Christmas time really get in full swing, it's the ideal time for businesses and bars to give themselves a revamp, so let's take a look. We started today in the Rincón area on the corner junction with Avenidas Ametlla de Mar and Juan Fuster Zaragoza, with the former being one of the main busy thoroughfares in this lively and tourist-full neighbourhood, and the latter being the road that many take down to the bi-weekly outdoor market. Here we see what for many years were the offices of the Sabadell Bank, although at my last look the two ATMs did remain, along with the accessory shop of Piel y Viaje, both of which have been completely demolished and gutted inside, and the subject of much local speculation over the last few weeks, as well as on social media by holidaymakers. It's now emerged that this new venue will not be a branch of the American bar Hooters, as rumoured, nor an extension of the relatively new Red Door Irish Tavern next door either, but in fact a brand new pub called the Bank Club, which is currently advertising for staff to fill morning, afternoon and evening shifts. And with the email address given to send your CV into, citing the Dollar Group in its address, this new bar is clearly part of the same chain as the adjacent Red Door pub, as well as the Silver Dollar, Gold Dollar and $1 Million bars, which already do a fantastic trade in other parts of the Rincón and the New Town. Moving over to said New Town now, directly on the corner junction of both Calle Cuenca and Calle Girona, or the Strip, we see that the 4-star Marina Hotel Resort is now closed for a full revamp. Currently shut until December the 19th, when they reopen for the festive season and then reclose from January the 3rd until the 4th of February, they are promising to level up two icons of their vibe, these being namely the White Star Cabaret Bar, which sits on site and which anyone is welcome to use, whether a guest of the hotel or not, along with a selection of their hotel rooms. With a redesign, upgrade and a boast to push everything to the next level, it will be interesting to see how this now mainly party-focused hotel looks when the renovations are complete. And with the White Star being a popular bar for many to enjoy a drink in and watch a singing act on of an evening, I'm sure it will be busier than ever. Staying in the Newtown party zone, and in fact only a few metres along the same road of Calle Girona, but heading into Avenida de Mallorca, or the Square, we next see that the rather dated but much loved cabaret bar of the Zodiac is being given a full refurbishment. Having closed its doors for the season on November the 16th and not due to reopen until next March, it's taken the opportunity to completely raise the old interior to the ground, and I for one will be fascinated to see how this brand new all singing all dancing Zodiac turns out. We now head back to the Rincón area, or Racó de Loix in Valenciano, where down Avenida de Zamora we see that what was previously a large open space used simply as a public car park has now finally emerged as a fully complete new health clinic for the area after I started reporting on this large-scale project, would you believe, way back in autumn 2024. Located just down from the local cinema and up from the football fields, as well as nearby to the tourist apartment blocks of the Luxmar and Playa Mar, this massive development had a budget of €4.6 million, which actually reached €5.5 million in the end, and will soon provide much needed new healthcare spaces for the growing needs of the bustling Rincón neighbourhood, which not only has its own large multicultural community, but which also provides hundreds of international tourists with emergency healthcare, as long as they turn up with their EHIC or GHIC card with them, that is, and of course some ID, which is essential for just about any transaction here in Spain at any time. Zooming back to the New Town once more, but this time along Calle Lepanto and almost opposite the 4-star Superior Hotel Gold Arcos, we see what was previously the double locale premises of JJJ's supermarket and gift shop. Following extensive renovations inside, you would imagine, which I didn't manage to catch on film, this has now become a new bar called Nicky's with fresh green signage, promising live music, karaoke and no doubt a warm Benidorm welcome. Returning to the Rincón de Loix along Avenida Ametlla de Mar and just along from the 4-star Servi Group Hotel Nereo and this area's branch of KFC, we see what was many years ago the Jamaica Cabaret Bar. This later became a Chinese shop, followed inevitably by turning into just another mini-mart, or the current scourge of Benidorm in my opinion, and it's now undergoing full renovations and building work. At the time of putting this vlog together, it still hasn't become clear what this new business will be. However, with so much work going into it, surely it can't be just another similar retail outlet, so watch this space in the future for an update. Moving just around the corner and uphill along London Street, or Quai Londres, we see the small unit that previously housed Louis' Bar and Lounge, which is now relocated to the top end of the square opposite the Palm Court Apartments, and which continues to be renowned for its great food, including freshly made fish and chips and delicious and generous Sunday roasts, and now a fabulous sun terrace as well. Having had to vacate these premises due to the landlord wanting them back, the shutters were pulled across for many weeks afterwards, which seemed strange as presumably the ownership of it was taken back to make way for a new business to emerge. With building materials and ladders having appeared sporadically on the outer terrace and more recently inside as well, it's clear that this unit will eventually become something new. However, what it will become remains a mystery to us all as yet. Now moving over to the beautiful Old Town, just above Benidorm's port area and along from the British pub Sherry's on the headland in Plaza del Señoria, we see what was previously the bar and restaurant of La Sirena del Puerto, which has been closed down for at least 5 years that I can remember. Over the last few months, it seems to have had some building work take place inside, as it's now gutted and surrounded by wire fencing and tarpaulin sheets, but I've never caught anyone inside it actually working yet, so maybe another project for the future. Now heading over to the central area of town, along Calle Esperanto, and just along from the 4-star Hotel Madeira Centro, we see what was formerly a Chinese shop come beach and ladies wear outlet. After only a few weeks of renovations, this business transformed itself into La Crème, selling a great selection of artisan ice cream to eat in and take away, and it proved very popular at the end of this summer, especially due to its great location, positioned directly opposite the main Centro bus stop, shelter and benches in this bustling cusp of the Old Town area. Now at the very end of Carrer del Pal, deep in the Old Town and just around the corner from the famous Gin and Tonic Street, we see what was previously many years ago the very popular Comodoro bar, and then more recently the Sal de Maria pub, which has now been completely knocked down. It currently remains an empty and abandoned plot, although there is now a sign up by MC Home estate agents offering this 432 metre squared area for sale for €750,000, so again we'll have to wait and see what this prime corner space becomes in the months to come. Literally just around the corner and inland from the beautiful Avanti beachfront and promenade along Calle del Pinto Lozano, we see that the 3-star RH Hotel Sol has enjoyed a bout of renovations this year, and in fact it reopened at the beginning of summer to welcome guests for the high season. Now bang on the seafront itself, along the section known as Avinguda de Alcoy towards the Old Town end of the prom, we see what was formerly the nightclub venue of KM Playa. Now fully renovated, this large venue in its fantastic beachside location has transformed itself into a branch of the American franchise, the Five Guys Burger Bar, and opened just before the rush of the summer season. Currently opening from midday until 11:30 p.m. daily, but serving up later until 1 a.m. on Fridays and Saturdays, they boast over 250,000 possible topping combinations for your burgers, along with their famous boardwalk fries cooked in peanut oil, which are freshly hand-cut every day. With the nearest Five Guys branch being along La Rambla in the nearby city of Alicante, this opening brings a brand new taste of the USA to Benidorm's promenade. And whilst I haven't tried it out myself, reviews are positive, although it is cited as being a little on the pricey side for what is essentially just burgers and chips. Moving into the new town again now, along the busy avenue of the Avenida del Mediterraneo, we see what was for many years a popular mini golf course with children's fairground-style rides also on site, which over the last 2 years has become the brand new stylish luxury apartment building of Edificio Monver Mediterraneo. Having sold all its exclusive 90 new homes by the beginning of this year, residents are now happily living out their Spanish dream inside. But in just the last few weeks, the units underneath, which are always built under apartment blocks to house potential new commercial units, have started to be uncovered brick by brick, and hopefully they'll soon be ready to become new cafes, restaurants or shops. Winging over to the centre of town again, along the pedestrianised section of Calle Girona closest to the Old Town, and known locally as Food Street, we see what was formerly the Italian restaurant of Pizzeria Trisapori is now set to become another Italian restaurant and deli under the name of Ciao Bella once the internal renovations are complete. Back in the Rincón again, and along Avenida Ametlla de Mar, right next to the Massy Mass Basics supermarket, we see that what was formerly the Cafe Bar Aquarium many years ago, whose lease was then sold on for the new tenants to turn it into a Chinese shop, has now had its first street-facing section removed, but whether this is for structural reasons, renovations or a brand new business, I don't know yet, so as usual, I'll keep you in the loop at a future date. Now heading over to the outer Rincón de Loix area, way past the hotels Mediterraneo and de Loix, along Avenida del Dr. Severo Ochoa, we see that work continues on what was previously just wasteland in the neighbourhood locally known as Camping Corner due to its large amount of camping and caravan parks. Here, to the left of the long-established Camping El Raco, we see that a brand new campsite is continuing to materialise, and this now cleared and still developing area will become a sister site to the already existing small campsite of La Torreta, which sits directly behind Benidorm Palace and which houses 237 plots and 11 bungalows. With previous concerns from the Town Hall and other relevant authorities about this new zone being subject to flooding risks now resolved, the works are in full flow, as you can see. And as I've said before, but it bears repeating, what a fantastic location for another site, with those stunning views of the surrounding mountain ranges and countryside looking over it from afar. On this side of the road, adjacent to Camping Raco, you can find a large Aldi supermarket which only opened at the end of last year, along with a huge amount of bars and restaurants on the opposite side of the street, as well as a hair and beauty salon, a tattoo parlour and a snooker hall, to name but a few businesses. The local bus route number 10 also passes more or less outside every 20 minutes or so, taking you right into the Rincón de Loix and then the centre of town for just €1.60 or as little as 86 cents if you have a bus card or tarjeta bus, so this really would be a great location to make your new home in, with plenty of facilities around you in the very local area. I'll now let you sit back and enjoy the remaining footage, and this brings us to the end of this latest building work update vlog. I really hope that you've enjoyed seeing some current video footage of your beloved resort of Benidorm and what's been going on here in the last few weeks and months, and what is going on right here, right now. If you have, then please check out some of my other videos which show you lots of popular accommodation options in Benidorm with full reviews, inside footage and tons of details, as well as taking you on info-packed street and beachfront walks and bringing you lots of local news, updates and reviews on cafes, bars and new businesses, and just about anything else I can think of to video as well. Thanks so much for watching as always, and I'll see you out and about next time. Take care, have a good day, and hasta pronto. Cheers!